All right, today we are diving into something truly special. We're going to deconstruct an absolutely spectacular Dominican party platter, also known as a picada. This whole breakdown is inspired by a fantastic recipe from the My Wife's Creations YouTube channel, and trust me, this is the kind of dish that shows up at a party and immediately becomes the center of the universe.
But first, I've got a quick question for you. If I put a big plate of fresh tostones in front of you, could you really tell which ones are from green plantains, which are from ripe ones, or, get this, which are from green bananas? It's way trickier than it sounds, and it's actually the secret to what makes this platter so amazing.
So, let's just get right into it. The plan here is to walk you through exactly how this massive, delicious, totally shareable dish gets made, piece by piece. You'll see how all the magic comes together.
We have to start with the foundation, right? The absolute heart and soul of this picada, the plantains. And we're not just talking about your standard green plantain. Oh no. This recipe celebrates the entire plantain spectrum. This recipe actually calls for 4 different key players. You've got your classic plátano verde, the green plantain. Then you've got its sweeter cousin, the plátano maduro, which is the ripe one. And then, rounding it all out, are 2 kinds of green bananas, the regular guineo and this flatter, stubbier one called a roulon. It's this variety that creates this incredible playground of flavors and textures.
And you can see here how each one has a very specific job to do. The green plantain, the verde, that gives you that classic, savory, super crispy tostone we all know and love. The maduro, though, brings a soft, caramelized sweetness to the party. It's the perfect counterpoint. And then the green bananas, the guineo and rulo, they offer a firmer, almost chewier bite. It's just a brilliant combination.
Okay, so our plantain base is all sorted out. Now it's time to bring in the savory stars of the show. I'm talking about the proteins and the cheese that are going to take this from a simple snack to a full-on feast.
So, we're working with 4 heavy hitters here. You've got flavorful Dominican longaniza sausage, tender cubes of beef, crispy strips of chicken, and the one thing you absolutely cannot skip, queso de freír. It's a firm cheese that is literally designed for frying. It's amazing. Now, prepping the cheese has one really crucial trick to it. After you cut it into cubes, you toss it in some plain flour. This isn't for flavor, it's a technique. It creates this tiny protective barrier that keeps the cheese from melting into a gooey mess in the hot oil. This is how you get those perfect, golden brown, crispy little cubes.
The meats get completely different treatments, and that's on purpose. It's all about creating distinct textures. The beef is seasoned with this really savory mix of olive oil, spices, and sofrito, but the chicken gets the full dredge treatment, a dip in seasoned flour and milk to build up a really nice, thick, crunchy crust. 2 totally different approaches, both totally delicious.
And now we get to the action. Look, this platter involves a lot of frying, but the method is really strategic. It's all designed to make sure everything comes out perfectly crispy and not a greasy mess.
The secret to perfect tostones is always the 2-step process. Always. The first fry is short, just a couple minutes to soften up the plantain chunks. Then you pull them out, you smash them flat, and you put them back in the hot oil for a second fry. That double fry technique is what creates that legendary texture, crispy on the outside but still soft on the inside.
The creator of the recipe makes a super important point about the oil. She says, it's important that you do this with plenty of oil. If you use too little, they will get soggy, and we don't want that. I mean, who wants soggy tostones? Nobody. The takeaway here is simple. Don't be shy with the oil. A nice, deep, hot bath of oil makes everything fry up quick so it absorbs less grease and stays super crisp.
Now this part is pretty clever. To manage all these different components and to balance out the richness of it all, the recipe uses a hybrid approach. The pastas, the cheese, and the breaded chicken, they all go in the deep fryer to get that essential crunch. But the longaniza and the beef cubes, they go in the air fryer. So why do that? Well, it's just a really smart move. By air frying the sausage and beef, they basically cook in their own rendered fat. You don't need to add any extra oil. It's a great little hack that keeps the final platter feeling indulgent, but not overwhelmingly greasy.
All right, every single component is cooked to perfection. Now it's time for the best part, the grand finale. This is where we assemble everything into a totally show-stopping platter that's a feast for the eyes and, of course, the stomach. Putting this together is really an art form. You start with a big, generous base of the crispy chicken strips and the beef cubes. Then you artfully arrange all those different kinds of tostones around the meats. After that, you just scatter those golden cubes of fried cheese all over the place. And for the final touch, you pile that savory longaniza right on top.
You see, this isn't just a plate of food.
It's a statement. It's designed to be a centerpiece that just screams sharing. The creator says it's a dish made with muchísimo amor, a whole lot of love for the people you care about, and you can tell.
And it is built to feed a crowd. The recipe says this platter will generously serve about 5 to 8 people, which makes it absolutely perfect for parties, family get-togethers, you name it. So, that brings us to the end of our breakdown. As you can see, this is way more than a recipe. It's an entire event just waiting to happen. Which really leaves us with just one question. Who would you invite over to share this with?